Well, hey, LTD family, welcome back for another episode of the Morning Huddle. It is the week of August 10th through the 16th. It is steamy out there, but we're excited to jump into a new week with you and talk about steamy and hot. We're jumping into a new series, and this book is called 212 Degrees, the Extra Degree, How 1 Degree Changes Everything. And this book is written by an author, Sam Parker and Mac Anderson. And they really have a simple, but it's a very, very powerful lesson. And this lesson is from science. And did you know that at 211 degrees Fahrenheit, water is just hot, right? It's just hot. But at 212, that 1 degree more, that's when water starts to boil. And sometimes, right, that one extra degree is all that it takes. And so the question here, Regina, is thinking about the best supervisor, manager, coach, mentor you've ever had. What was that one extra degree, that one extra thing that they gave that made them memorable or especially valuable to you?
I think when looking at this question, I think of it along the lines of being inclusive. So typically in the operations world, when it comes down to revenue and operating regarding expenses and things, other department heads such as the chief engineer isn't really included in those conversations. Most of the times we just give them budgets and say, hey, here you go, this is how much money you have to spend, but we don't kind of explain to them why or what it looks like or how the way that they operate impacts. So I remember having a general manager that when we used to do our monthly meetings with the management team, that they would include the chief engineer, and instead of not necessarily putting them on the spot, but they would be like, do you understand how if we brought in this amount of revenue this week, how it impacts the remainder of the month? And then allow them to give their takeaways and allow them to give their opinions on how they can impact that goal. And then that would be, that can, again, that's an extra drill or, or you might not be able to get that drill this month or something along those lines. So being able to include them and make them feel a part of that conversation versus again just saying, hey, here is a budget for the month, just use this. I think that made a difference for me because it was like, we're not just, as you like to say, on an island. That chief engineer, it just isn't a chief engineer. He is a part of a broader conversation when it comes to how it impacts our revenue for the month.
I think that's such a great point. And it's that one extra, like you said, it's just that one extra degree of inclusion, of bringing unique voices into the conversations, to bring a unique perspective, to help make us better. And that's ultimately, I think, it's a vision of our organization, right? The constant pursuit to be better. Yep. And so, bringing in those unique voices, that adds that one extra degree. It can take us from hot water to boiling hot water, which is that one insight that individual can bring to the conversation to say, wow, we've never thought about it that way before. We never realized how our actions were actually impacting you, or, all of those types of things. I actually heard a story this week about a study that a group was doing in a hospital system, and it was with a bunch of nurses, and they were having all sorts of challenges with these nurses. And it turns out that really it was just that they had a broken copier, and they were all very frustrated about this broken copying machine. And they're like, oh, we were trying all of these fancy things, all these initiatives, grand gestures, when turns out the 1 degree they needed was, can you just fix the copy machine? It's causing me a lot of angst, and I have to go up and down and all around to get something done. And it was just a matter of bringing them in to find out what the real challenge was. So anyway, that's that 1 degree that we can talk about, where we can be on a roll and we can be hot, but if we want to be boiling, we've got to really think about that. And I love the idea of inclusion and bringing unique voices into these conversations. So I think that is a great challenge for us this week to consider, hey, what is one gesture, one thing that I can do to make us go from hot to boiling, to bring us up that one extra degree. And I think that's a wonderful thing to consider this week as we go into the week. So we've got some great celebrations this week. We have some birthdays that we're going to go through. On the 11th, we have Joel from our LTD corporate office. We have Linda from the Spring Hill Suites Chesapeake, and David from the Spring Hill Suites Norfolk. Happy birthday.
All right, and on August the 12th, we have Andrew at the Delta Chesapeake, Camille at the Spring Hill Suites Chesapeake, and William at the Residence Inn Chesapeake. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, you guys. On the 13th, we have Valine celebrating a birthday from the Aloft Chesapeake. Happy birthday.
All right, and on the 14th of August, we have Lorelli at the Residence Inn Chesapeake, and then Seupa at the Staybridge Suites Charlottesville. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, you guys. And then we've got some work anniversaries to celebrate, which is always exciting. We have Miss Sonia celebrating 16 years. Wow. 16 years. What an incredible accomplishment. Yes. At our Fairfield Inn in Williamsburg. And we have Miss Amina from our Doubletree celebrating 2 years. Congratulations.
All right. And then on August 14th, we have Shirley at the Residence Inn Chesapeake celebrating 3 years. Happy work anniversary.
Happy work anniversary, Shirley. On the 15th, we have Thomasina celebrating 5 years. What an incredible milestone at the Fairfield. And Herbert celebrating 2 years at the Holiday Inn Newport News. Congratulations.
All right, and on August the 16th, we have Nina at the Spring Hill Suites Norfolk celebrating 2 years. Congratulations.
Congratulations, Nina. And we now get to celebrate Amina again. She just celebrated her 2-year anniversary, and now we get to celebrate Amina as our star player of the week.
All right, so our star player of the week is Miss Amina at the Doubletree Columbia. One of our front desk agents, Amina, is a huge BTS fan and took the initiative to handcraft these BTS-themed keychain charms on her own. She is surprising BTS fans who are staying with us and are attending the concert as a welcome gift. This is a wonderful example of a team member going above and beyond to create a memorable and personalized guest experience. It was completely her own idea, and I know our BTS guests appreciate the thoughtful gesture. This is also a great example of the hospitality culture we're striving to build, creating meaningful moments that guests will remember long after their stay. That comes from George Ramirez, the general manager at the Doubletree Columbia.
Wow, Amina, what a fun gesture to take something that you love, that you're passionate about, and channel all of that passion and energy for our guests. And what a fun thing to do. I love to see that. And what just a personal gift. And I cannot imagine being on the receiving end of such a thoughtful gift in coming into a hotel. So thank you, Amina, for being so thoughtful and really wanting to spend your time and your resources and your energy to just show hospitality to our guests. We are so grateful for you, Amina, for the last 2 years. We're so thankful for everything that you're investing into our property there at the Doubletree and into our greater team. So thank you. And for that, we've got a $50 gift card coming your way. And we are going to wrap up the week like we do each and every week with our phrase of the week en Espanol. Are we going to consult our friend on this one?
So I did earlier. So our phrase of the week in Espanol is de un poco más, which the translation is give a little more.
Give a little more. Well, hey, you guys are giving a lot, and we are so thankful. But I think we know we all have just that little bit more to give, that one extra degree. We learned that today. Hey, let's try to be intentional about bringing a unique voice into a conversation this week. Let's see what kind of value they can bring, because I know that we each and every one of us have that one little bit more to add. So thank you guys so much for your time this week. We hope you have a wonderful week. Please stay hydrated, stay cool. Let's lean in
and get better together. Bye. Have a great